Said you met him pimping in Texas?
Yeah.
Explain.
We already had this explanation on our last interview.
Did I? It's been a while.
You sound like the police, bro.
If it was back in the day, then who cares?
Any question you can ask me has been like a detective coming to ask me what the fuck.
It's all shit that has been said in other interviews.
You get life for pimping.
Really?
Hell, fuck yeah. That's just for future reference. Don't ever ask nobody about pimping. For real. If he decided to tell you that, you go ahead, elaborate on it. But
how is it possible that you could get life for it and that we talked about it on your last interview?
No, I'm saying, but don't keep talking about it. Now you're going to have this people nigga like, oh, he really doing this for real, actively right now.
Right.
Yo, did you know that Adam22's real last name is Graham Mason? The same white man that got these black people on his platform beefing and banging on each other? And not only that, but did you know that his father was a local politician and went to prison for voter fraud and got pardoned by Bill Clinton? So their name is Graham Mason, and they tied in with the Clintons, and this dude came out of nowhere, doesn't come from a hip-hop background, got a quote-unquote hip-hop platform, and got these dudes, these gangbanger dudes, going at each other on his platform. Just make sure you do your homework on this devil before you crash out for him.
So I got into a fight, you know what I'm saying? And that sent me back.
Okay, you got into a fight with a white dude.
Exactly.
Was it like a racist thing? Was it like whites and blacks kind of clicked up in there?
How you know that?
Well, that's just how prison is most times.
I'm telling you, how you know I got into it with a white dude, though?
I think you may have mentioned it in the past.
Nah.
That moment you know DJ Vlad is a Fed.
When I look at your music, when I listen to your music and I look at your album covers and stuff like that, I'm seeing a lot of blue. The color blue seems to be very prominent.
It's a nice color, my boy. It's a nice color. It ain't that like
now, I assume there's a Crip thing going on?
Nah, just a nice color.
Just a nice color?
Yeah.
No cripping going on?
No, nothing. It's
no,
a nice color, just the same. Themes and the scenes, man.
Okay. Growing up in that type of environment, a lot of people start to hustle early. Like, how old were you when you first started hustling?
I was a hustler, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man,
You 100% legal? You were good?
Yeah.
Doing everything by the book?
Doing it by the book, man. Make sure it happens.
Okay. And that's the way to answer those types of questions.
Vlad be getting mad and be wondering why people be calling him the Feds.
Okay. And in terms of your crew names, Young and Ace is ATK, you're KTA. Right?
Nah, my label ESPN, it's like ESPN, but it's a 6 with an SS, so it's E6PN.
Okay, so what's KTA?
Oh, that's something the internet came up with, bro. Like, the internet, like, that's why it's so messed up. Like, I had made a song or something like that, and I said it, like, probably, like, one time, the internet just ran with it. And it was something totally different.
Well,
now you know this situation doesn't help the rumors or the stigma of the Vlad curse.
Vlad is the feds. Vlad is the police.
Vlad curse. Vlad is the feds. People say a lot of folks get jammed up after they interview with you. Mm-hmm. Do you ever feel bad or regret, doing those interviews after folks get caught?
Well, this is the first interview that I'm aware of that any level of footage that we recorded is actually going to be used in a criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
Like every other interview we've ever done, people have talked about things they did in the past, and if they chose to do a crime after the interview, it has nothing to do with anything in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the stigma is the stigma, man. Like people gonna say Vlad's the police, Vlad is the feds. I've heard it literally for 15 years.
Yes, boss. Back in here again once again, man. Listen, and I got a new microphone. Stop playing with me. So you seen the clips that I just played for you, right? You seen DJ Vlad and you seen Adam22. And I played these clips for a reason, right? There's a lot of guys out here that want to get into the music, rapping, talking about the life that they live because that's what they believe people want to hear. But at the same time, you got to understand this. When you go up on these platforms, there are certain people, i.e. Adam22 and these big podcasters, that if you were heavy out here in the streets or you did certain things or whatever the case may be, they might want to ask you certain type of questions that would lead you to incriminate yourself. One, you shouldn't be out here doing that. I'm not judging you. I can't change people. You do what you do. You make your own decisions. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you feel like you're going to get on and do certain things, you have to understand there's certain agendas you have to fulfill. There's certain people that's playing certain games. And that's the reason why I played that first clip. Well, the second clip of Adam22. Adam22 is exposed for his father being an ex-politician. Now, you have to understand this. When a lot of these guys come out and you don't know where they came from, they have to have somebody over them or somebody that's funding them. So the fact that Adam22 is a politician's child, that pretty much, I could go for all of that. And I'm going to tell you why. Adam22 is the same person that has been thrown out there for allegations of messing with minors, underage women, underage girls. You get what I'm saying? And then that's when he started to use his whole cover up for his wife getting smashed by different dudes. It's a throw off, you get what I'm saying? To cover up his allegations of the other things that he does, as well as the interviews that he conducts. You get what I'm saying? Everything that he does is kind of like a throw off in a way. And one thing I do know is that the feds does have a budget for snitches. You get what I'm saying? So if you can have people get up on a podcast or on an interview and incriminate themselves for the world, because a lot of people want clout and attention, a lot of people are craving for that. You get what I'm saying? People are going to be willing to go ahead and do that unless they're smart enough to dodge the questions like some of the people that you've seen in the interviews that I played. Example, Pee Wee Longway. He asked Pee Wee Longway, yo, the color blue, you like it that much? Are you a Crip? And he said, no, it's a nice color. You get what I'm saying? Everything he did, he avoided all of the questions that Vlad asked him. And you have to understand this. These questions are on the internet. These are playback records. People can go back and, oh, it's out there. Let me go ahead and get that information back again. He said he's a what? He's a Crip? Okay, these are things that they use to incriminate people and build RICO cases. Same question like he asked with Julio Fulio. He asked him, yo, Young and Ace is ATK and you're KTA, right? You have to understand that all of these questions that he was asking is building up for the moments that they're all in right now, because currently, to my understanding, Young and Ace and Julio Fulio, basically, they have a RICO going on because of all the murders that's been going on in Jacksonville. They're labeling them as a big part of certain things. So you have to understand that when you do these interviews, when you're out here rapping and doing all of these musics, it's nothing wrong with expressing yourself, but you have to be careful. And I'm telling you this right now in a deeper psychological way, right? Music, especially hip hop rap, it has transitioned. It went from wholesome music talking about the struggle, what you want to be, something that's uplifting with like some life lessons to it. Now it transitioned to people talking about killing and drilling, and people want to hear the real. So a lot of these rappers are out here putting in their raps the life that they live, stuff that they do, and it incriminates them. There's been numerous rappers that have been incarcerated and locked up for their lyrics. And this is something that's serious. If you're doing this stuff because, oh, it looks popular, it looks good, I'm telling you right now, you don't know who it is that's watching. You don't know who it is that's building the case on you, especially if you're out here in the streets wilding and doing whatever it is that you want to do. There are some people who evade these situations. There are some people who cannot. But what I'm trying to tell you is, this is not the life that you want to live. Not a lot of rappers make money, bro. A lot of this stuff is a scheme, bro. Look at Vlad, for example. Vlad said, yeah, I know I'm being labeled as a feds. Who is Vlad and where did he come from? Vlad is somebody that does interviews, and he interviews everybody. He exposes a lot. He's interviewed referees who expose sports betting. He's exposed people who's been in the mafia in his interviews. He's done it with rappers. Boosie goes on his interviews numerous of times, and I've heard that Boosie gets paid a nice chunk of change. If I'm not mistaken, it should be over 20,000 just to go over there and do interviews on the podcast. That's why Boosie went ahead and said that on the Matt Hoffa interview, that podcast is that's where he makes his money from, interviews. So you have to understand this. There's a lot of information in game that gets exposed in these interviews, and what Vlad is basically trying to do is get these people to expose their hand and incriminate themselves. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. A lot of this stuff, yeah, it may be looked at as entertainment, but if you know that you're out here doing certain things which you should not be doing, stating that one more time, can't judge you, can't change you, it's your choices. If you get up there and you go on these certain podcasts and you know you live in certain life, well, yeah, you know, I be selling weed and stuff like that, you get what I'm saying? You're incriminating yourself. There are people who are watching, you don't know who's watching you. But what I'm trying to tell you is that these guys who run these interviews and these podcasts, I'm pretty sure that they get some form of a compensation because of the fact that they're helping or getting people locked up and exposed. I'm not saying there aren't certain people who deserve to get locked up. There's a lot of real hard-earned criminals that deserve to get locked up. But what I'm saying is they're trying to get people locked up and cased up in different situations, because you have to remember this. The prison system makes a lot of money off of people when they have a lot of inmates. More inmates meaning more money being spent on commissary, more money being spent on phone calls. You have to understand that this is a big business and this is private. There's a lot of private prisons, private owned prisons, people who've invested millions of dollars into having prisons built for people who want this lifestyle. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand that a lot of this stuff that you see is not so what it is. You get what I'm saying? A lot of these rappers who you see that's out there, everybody's situation is different, yeah? But some people have actually had to go away and put in time in the prison system before they could even get to these type of levels. You get what I'm saying? It's levels to this game. You get what I'm saying? So you have to remember these things. When you see Adam22 exposed as, oh, he's a Mason, that stuff is true, bro. How can these people have these big podcasts, commit these crimes? Oh, you're basically a predator. You get what I'm saying? And you're still out here, still running your podcast, still doing your thing. You have privilege because why? Your father is an ex-politician. You have to understand that there's a lot of people who have different privileges and they're playing with different forms of power than other people. You get what I'm saying? So, example, Vlad is getting credit for being for helping solve the Tupac murder. Now, Vlad basically went up on Charlemagne the God and the Breakfast Club and spoke about that, saying, yeah, you know, we're being credited as that, but at the same time, we're being labeled as the feds. You have to understand that a lot of the questions that they do ask is it's like leading questions. You get what I'm saying? Straightforward yes and no, something like in an interrogation room. You get what I'm saying? So you have to remember these things and what it is that you see. Yeah, it can be taken as entertainment, but a lot of these people that you see out there in big forms of power doing certain things, you have to ask yourself how they got there. The Adam22s, we exposed that. The DJ Vlads, the 1090 Jakes. You have to even look at that and question that. Why is it that 1090 Jake is so highly revered for exposing people's paperwork? How did you get to this position? You get what I'm saying? You have to understand that these are games that they play to have people expose themselves, turn people against each other, expose beefs, start war in the streets. Therefore, that leads and spills over to either people dying, people being arrested. You get what I'm saying? It's like a trickle effect. So if you can start problems in one area, then it's going to trickle over into another area. That's going to spill over into another area. And then the ball is going to keep rolling from there. You get what I'm saying? It's like a trade for a trade. And it's only helping people put money in their pockets who don't even care about us in the community. You get what I'm saying? These are things that we have to take into consideration. A lot of these guys that run these podcasts, They get paid big money just to go ahead and interview these people, get them to incriminate themselves, see what it is that they can do to snitch on themselves, throw in some throwaway questions, some throw off questions, then get right back into incriminating yourself. It's all a game, bro. And it's sad because some people think that they're getting up there to get some fame and clout, and it could probably lead to a deal. But you have to understand that a lot of this stuff is a throw off. They want to get people to go ahead and incriminate themselves. Because you have to understand that if you're out here doing a lot of crimes and doing things in the dark and you think you may not be being watched, there's somebody watching you, dog. So you got to be very careful of that. You get what I'm saying? With that being said, remember this. Words can help you. They can hurt you. But here on my channel, I use them to uplift you because everybody's a champion. Nobody's a loser, man. Just remember this. A lot of these interviews, as I stated before, they don't care. These interviewers, they don't really care about the people that come up there. They just want to see what type of information they can get up out of you. You get what I'm saying? It's like somebody who's sent to get information, like an informant. You get what I'm saying? It fits the script with everything that's going on. You're asking interview questions. It's nothing about music and when is your next album dropping? It's the things that you've done to incriminate yourself, get locked up, and let's see if we could get you thrown back in there again. You get what I'm saying? So that being said, just remember those words and everything will be A-okay, man. It's your boy 444 The World. Peace.